Dear God, it takes nothing special to mop up after the decrepit and the dying. Can you feel that?
Yep.
But to save a soul, that's quite something.
Must be bonkers, the fact that all these things have happened. I mean, for example, you're coming up, there's the BAFTA Rising Star Award, which you're nominated for now. I mean,
Yeah.
all these, I mean, congratulations, but all of these kind of things, it must be kind of not just surreal, but very hard to believe because you're in New Zealand and you can't really kind of feel it in person, no? Experience it in person. That must be kind of great, but strange at the same time, no?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem real at all. But I think at times I don't even feel real. I think that lots of people are getting that. I think I was speaking to my friends and it was just like go through phases of like feeling kind of very connected to like the whole world in a way that you haven't before, or kind of feeling like you almost don't exist, or feeling like you're the only person in the world, which is a big roller coaster.
When you pray, do you get a response?
It's like he's physically in me. It's how he guides me.
The film released just a few weeks ago in the US, a while back in the UK, but just recently in the US, and there's been all kinds of great comments, great praise for your performance and for Rose's film on social media. I don't know if you follow social media too much. Is that something you follow much? I mean, it's gone wild since it's released over there.
My sister follows it all obsessively and sends me the best bits and the worst bits.
The worst
Those
bits
are
as well.
her favorites. Yeah. Yeah, and she also likes it when people are like, saw Saint Maud, it was fine. Yeah, it's just like but yeah, so that's been amazing. And also so there's been lots of kind of just really interesting things just written about it, like in letterbox and stuff that she sent on to me that have kind of made it things that I never thought about doing it. And that's kind of the real joy of it, I feel, when it becomes much cleverer than you actually were at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, so your sister's been sending you details from social media, but have you spoken to Rose since it came out? Because obviously she won the Douglas Hickox Award now for the
yes.
British Independent Films. I imagine you've spoken to her now to congratulate her on that, no? Since.
Yeah, and I think both of us are just kind of still a bit like, okay, they like it. And I don't know if that will ever actually go. And I think also because we're experiencing it in a place where we're not actually seeing people who've seen it. So it kind of still feels, like it's still a bit just ours. And then it's like, oh no, wait, it has been seen. But yeah, my communication with Rose is mostly just us sending each other surreal videos every now and then. And that's, I look forward to them.
Maud is looking out for me, you see. To save my soul, if I understand correctly.
And Ben Fordsman, who won the cinematography one as well, which I was so happy about. Because he was such a support to me and Rose. Like, I think it would have been a much harder film to do without someone so kind of compassionate and like brilliant. So yeah, it was great.
And then something else I was reading, I can't remember if it was a Variety. I was reading an article this morning, and I read that you were very relieved when you learned that the film was originally put back in the UK. I don't know if that was because of press like me bugging you.
Not very relieved, but
not because of the film, I mean because of what you might have to kind of go. I don't know if you don't enjoy your interviews or what it was that you.
It's not really. It's more just like whenever I've been in a play or anything, my mum's been like, say, oh, I've told the Shankelmans that you're in a play. I'm like, why have you done that? That means I'll come. No. So I'm always like, wish I could just be an actress in my room. And so there is, and it is kind of particularly with St. Maud, I think, because I really cared about it. Not that I don't care about my other things, but like, I guess also that it was me in a lot of it. It was just terrifying, the thought of it coming out and kind of not necessarily even not being liked, but it being like misunderstood. I think I just so wanted Maud to be understood. Yeah.
I mean, I know I can't ask anything about Lord of the Rings, but that something similar happened to you, I think, about Lord of the Rings, because all of your friends are big fans of Lord of the Rings, and they were kind of, you're going to be.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, yeah, I told so I've got 3 best friends from nursery, so I've known them since I was 2, and they're really not into me in the way that I feel they should be at times. And yeah, I was like, yeah, I've got a part in Lord of the Rings, and my friend Shannon was just like, oh, that's really great, but I was really looking forward to that, and now it's just, now you're gonna be in it, it's gonna be hard to like, yeah, no, that's really great. I was like, thanks. Back to earth very swiftly.
Well, that kind of exactly, keeps your feet on the ground as well, I guess. No,
yeah. Yes, I really miss them all. It's been the longest I've ever not seen them, and they've not seen each other really too, and I'm very looking forward to that. Yeah, it's missing them and feeling like a disconnect of not being able to understand kind of what they've gone through. I sometimes have nightmares where we don't understand each other anymore. And there is going to be an element of that, because I think like people in Britain have gone through so much more than I have. And yeah.
I know what you mean. When you go back, you're going to almost feel like a foreigner in a way. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I want to speak a bit about, we're not talking much about St. Maud.
Yes.
I didn't realize. I read about when you actually I think Rose always wanted you for the role, but I think, was it the producers or the investors, they weren't sure because you're a bit too sweet, which surprised me, because I thought that this kind of the sweetness of this person that you play, kind of, she's this do-gooder, no? That kind of plays into the horror of it, because she's this sweet person who really wants to help and very much as she can in her way. Is that the case? Is that they kind of didn't want you in the film? Not that they didn't want you to, but they didn't think you would suit the film because you were too sweet, and Rose battled to get you in there.
Yeah, I think that they felt there was a very fine balance with her being believable as kind of being frightening and dangerous, and her being kind of also almost invisible and kind of small and meek. And I think that Rose was in a slightly different place to them, and then that's why Rose got me in to do the scene of like possession in the flat for my 4th audition. I think, as I didn't realize it was to show them that, but I kind of like went in, threw myself around, smashed my phone case, hurt my knee, and pretended to vomit and attempted to levitate. And I think that's what convinced them. And so I'm very glad that Rose was like, no, get her in one more time to do the really crazy scene. You'll see.
And then I know something that you're very proud of is the fact that you were able to play. I think Rose was she let you kind of choose a little bit, or I don't know, maybe just because she wanted you, she let you keep your the Welsh accent on and play a Welsh person. I know you're very proud of that. And even, I imagine even more so now that the film has got so much recognition, no?
Yeah, I feel that like whoever played the role, Rose would definitely have allowed them to bring themselves into it, because I think also it's kind of, I think the idea of loneliness is so universal that in a way any of us could be Maud, and lots of people could have played her and she'd have been slightly different, but we could all fall into that loneliness. And so yeah, that was a kind of really, to have that freedom to kind of explore myself and bring bits of myself and kind of my history in terms of kind of being a Welsh speaker and stuff, and what that connection would be to God and things. I really didn't, when she said it, I was just like, oh yeah, cool, that sounds good. And then it wasn't until I watched it that I was like, oh wow, that's actually a massive gift that she's given me, to kind of be allowed that freedom and kind of ownership. So I'm really happy about that.
I mean, something else that I know I know that the script definitely resonated with you, because a lot of your family work in the in healthcare, no? But I think you also initially you wanted to be a midwife as well, no? And then you opted for something
I romantically wanted to be a midwife, but I have no ability to study, so I don't know if that ever would have happened. But yeah, I love people. I love talking to people. I've very unfairly found myself in New Zealand as someone who has no wanderlust, but I definitely have a wanderlust for people. I love meeting people and hearing their stories and stuff. And I think that kind of actually being a midwife in lots of ways has got similar things to being an actor, because it's kind of making sure that you create an environment that makes someone feel comfortable and to show as much as they can, and creating a space that's safe. and also just love babies.
Oh, we're running out of time. So what I wanted to ask you was, obviously I don't want to get you into any trouble, so I won't ask you anything about Lord of the Rings. But because it's such a huge production, I mean, I know you kind of cut your teeth in the theatre world now. This must be so difficult for you. Having been on set of the Lord of the Rings for all this time, are you looking to stay in that realm, or would you like to do some kind of smaller indie or maybe even theatre work again in the future?
I'd love to do theatre work again. And actually the kind of thing I've most done that was most similar to Lord of the Rings was that my first play out of drama school was one of the Mabinogi myths, the story of Blodeuwedd, which is this woman who was made out of flowers to be the wife of this man who's been cursed never to have a wife from the realm of men. And it's like that's the thing I actually feel is most like this, even though it was kind of, in terms of scale, quite small. We were on a mountain in North Wales. Mm-hmm. But I think theatre also, in terms of, I think theatre sets you up for everything. I feel really lucky that I got that opportunity, because also I feel I could have been much lazier if I'd gone straight into TV and film, just because like you get saved a lot by an amazing DOP and editor. And when you're on stage, you really just have to make sure that there's nowhere to hide. Yeah, so I made me work hard, and I'm often avoidant of that.
You'd like to go back to maybe keep yourself on your toes from time to time?
Yeah, I'd love to go to do theatre in Wales again. That's my real happy place.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant. Well, thanks so much for your time, Morfydd. I hope to speak to you again under better circumstances, and fingers crossed for the BAFTA.
Oh, thank you.
Award.
Yeah, okay. Maybe next time be face to face. Fingers crossed.
Yes, my third time lucky. So yeah, hopefully be face to face. All right, thanks so much. Cool. All the very best. Take care of yourself.
And you. Bye.
Bye.
Never waste your pain. Never waste your pain.